What's going on, guys? Okay, so I want to make more videos for you, and I just feel like it's so much easier to explain these ideas in videos. And if you haven't been in the group for a while, you see these charts and you don't really see what we see, what we've been in the group. The more you do this, the easier it gets. Okay, so I really feel like a lot of things fall on what the stock market does. Okay, I mean, Bitcoin's been following the ES1 since I can remember, right? Recently, we've constantly been using it. Okay, so now, clearly we had this huge drop from the ES1, right? We had this huge drop, and Bitcoin followed. Now, and if you kind of zoom in here, this is a 12-hour. I mean, you don't want to see a bearish retest to the 200 simple, right? Then more downside. But the point of this video is understanding the RSI, oversold RSI. Sometimes it's as simple as this, but notice it doesn't work every time. So what you have to do is take this idea and combine it with other ideas. Let me just give you some examples here. So what you see here is you've got oversold RSI bounce. Here you've got oversold RSI. It's hard to, you can't go through and cherry pick this stuff. You've got to stick to the idea, and it's not easy to do, right? Because there's other places I could have cherry picked and allow me to give better ideas. So you have to be real, you have to stick to your plan. And so the idea here is we're trying to find things that, well, number one, we want to see what the RSI oversold bounces look like. Okay, so here, our RSI oversold bounce, but this is at a lower trend line too, right? At a lower trend line. This was at a lower trend line, okay? So you had significant bounces, but they're still rolling over because this is a downtrend, right? Here you had RSI oversold, and then it bounced. So it was basically just an oversold bounce, and it rolled over, bounced again, but came down here. Now this is the lower trend line, right? Which has been established. At this point right here, you wouldn't have known this is a lower trend line. You would not, maybe you would have known because you got 1, 2, 3 touches here. So you would have had a good edge right here, right? So understand that this would have been a good buy where you could load, Bitcoin altcoins right here based on this ES1 chart. Well, now you've got this one, which this would have been a very high probability trade when the RSI is oversold, just as far as this bounce, right? Because this would have given you 50%, 60% gains in some altcoins, small caps, right? And it's at the lower trend line. So you can't just depend on oversold RSI. I want you to use support, use support, use the lower trend line, right? Ideas, okay, so here's another one, right? Where you've got oversold, and then you've had a big bounce, right? And so these, you could front run and you can buy altcoins based on these oversold bounces. These three were the easiest. 1, 2, 3. You really wouldn't have known right here that this is a good, solid downtrend line. But by here, you already have 2 touches, right? These would have been the easiest to trade, and you would have loaded altcoins based on this idea, right? Because you've got 2 things. Now, if you were able to add a third idea, and so what I do is I zoom into like the lower term time frames. Let's try to do 30 minutes just to see, so I can find these. All right, so then you come down here and you're looking for patterns as far as these bounces go, right? So you're oversold on the 12-hour, right? And then you're looking for patterns. Let me clean this up a little bit. Right here, you've got a falling wedge. I'll do this in white so you can see it still. Right, you got a falling wedge breakout, and then oversold on the 12-hour and at this trend line. So that gives you 3 ideas. If you want to have 3 ideas or more where the price action gives you an idea where it's going to move one direction or the next, okay? Here you had inverse head and shoulders, but these learning ideas are what you have to polish your skills on. So you have shoulder, head, shoulder, but you would have been waiting all the way up here. You would have missed half the move. So if you notice, the key here is on the 30-minute chart, you got this double bottom. And so double bottoms are good reversal ideas, okay? So, but also higher lows. Higher lows are good reversal ideas. So we know, because we looked at it in the beginning, 12-hour oversold bounce, right? And then you're zooming in and you're looking for ideas on to open on the 30-minute chart, okay? You would have had a falling wedge right here, falling wedge, and you had a bullish retest. So you would have had a double bottom to enter, RSI oversold on the 12-hour, right? This would be reasons why you, and remember, these are just bounces, not necessarily reversals, okay? A reversal on a 30-minute chart isn't the same as a reversal on a 12-hour chart, okay? So you just need to kind of start to understand, watch the videos. A lot of this stuff is talked about, but go through our weekly meeting screen shares and understand those ideas too. We need to get one of those done today. Let me zoom back out to where we started, but the most important thing I want you to take out of this video is find 3 reasons why the price action is going to change directions or more, and then you're buying based on those ideas. And this is not Bitcoin, but it's S&P 500, and Bitcoin's been following it. And I'm not trying to buy Bitcoin. I'm trying to buy altcoins, right? So you can load altcoins. All you do, the way this group works is I'll have ideas as far as the Bitcoin direction goes posted in announcements a lot. You'll go to the Bitcoin only group and you'll see Trip or other admins that are posting ideas for you to follow as far as what Bitcoin's going to do. And then you know to go to the charts only VIP group and you'll find setups. And so whatever altcoin you pick, you'll pick, if you're trying to go long, you're looking for a long setup posted in VIP charts only. And then you combine all these ideas, right? So first you see the direction where Bitcoin's going to move. And then you see, okay, are you trying to long Bitcoin, or excuse me, are you trying to long the altcoins? Are you trying to, short the altcoins? We're not, Bitcoin's just going to be really ES1 is the leader. Bitcoin follows, and then altcoins follow that. We get the best moves out of the altcoins. Okay, and so you have to use all of these ideas together, and you'll end up in trades that are a lot more profitable than sitting waiting for the breakouts, right? Because you're looking for support bounces on the altcoin setups. Okay, now to finish the idea, your RSI now is down here close to oversold, okay? Oversold, overbought. You guys should know this because you need to watch the basic videos, right? So it's close to oversold, but you got the 200 simple coming in here acting as resistance. And then see back here where you had, oversold, but it bounced and then potentially bounced again, then rolled over, right? That's a possibility. You bounced and then rolled over. So right here, there's definitely room for another drive lower. And what's that going to do to the Bitcoin? Pull it down with it. Now you could get a drive up here to this resistance, well, so here it's support, order block right here, right? So this is resistance now. So if you were to get a move back up here and this bearishly retests it, you're looking for downside. Okay, so it's not, hey, whatever the RSI, you can't buy every single oversold RSI and expect it to just moon, right? You have to understand there's a difference between a bounce and reversal. If this was oversold, the most important thing you need to understand, if you were down here near the bottom of this trend line and it was oversold and you had maybe like a double bottom, like that would be a good reversal idea to load altcoins, right? Where you have the lower trend line, unless something catastrophic can happen and you could lose this level, but the odds are in your favor. We've created a very good edge based on bounces off the lower trend line, okay? However, there's double bottoms, there's a percentage of failure, possible failure, but generally speaking, you get your best midterm trades based on bounces, oversold bounces on the RSI, and points where you are at the lower trend line, right? Lower trend line bounces, oversold RSI, and then like a double bottom, or if you had a falling wedge down here, right? That would at least give you, I mean, the worst thing in the world is like you jump in a trade and you're in loss. You're in loss. So at least this way you're starting off in green, right? The hardest part of breakout trading is, and I want you guys to slowly get away from it, but you had to learn it, is every time this thing comes up here and runs to the upper trend line, it's gotten rejected. So breakout trading in this situation, you have this huge range. There's a ton of trades that have to happen in this range. Otherwise, you'd be still waiting for a breakout. So there's smaller patterns. There's smaller patterns that you could trade. This is a 12-hour. And so you have to understand to use the correct time frame to do this. But we'll get more of these educational videos out to you. Thanks so much